Fun guy on fun guy. Hi, I'm Roofe and welcome to Get Gardening, and today I've come into the woods at East Ruston in the autumn months to look at some of the fungi that are coming up in the bark paths around here. And I'm not a mycologist, so I'm not somebody that studies or looks in detail at fungi in the garden, but as a gardener you tend to see a lot of different crops of them appearing at this time of year. And I get asked a lot by people if they should be concerned about the fungi that are coming up. And most of the fruiting bodies, as we call them, the mushrooms or the fungi we see coming up, aren't going to cause any major problems in the garden. And actually, probably 90% of them are actually beneficial to the way the garden works. And if you come down here, you can see we've got some that's come up in these bark paths. What it's actually doing is the fruiting body, the toadstools, are what the actual, I say plant, but that's a term that's used very loosely, what they produce to produce spores and then to actually allow their spores to drift and to settle onto new organic material. And you'll also see down here, if you look very closely, that what it's doing is it's producing lots and lots of mycelium, which is that fine sort of white hair which is covering this chipped wood, this timber. Now, once again, the important thing is that what these are doing is they are breaking this material down. And I always think about it that if we didn't have fungi, then none of our compost heaps would work as well as they do. None of all those old prunings or that material we get from the kitchen garden or the perennials we cut down in the winter, none of them would rot down as well as they do without fungi. We would literally be left with mountains of debris that we can't get rid of. But the natural cycle of the garden is thus that material dies, fungi comes in, you can smell the mushroom smell there, it lives off this material, it breaks it down, it produces these little fruiting bodies to transfer its spores from elsewhere, and this material is broken down and then used within the garden. It's used by plants, it's broken down into a usable material. So they're doing a very, very valuable job. Now, there are some fungi that in the garden you do not want. You do not want to see honey fungus, because that actually will attack lots of good garden plants, lots of trees and lots of hedging. And I've seen it working on privet before, and you get one little clump up here and gradually it works its way down the row of hedging, killing the plants off. So that's not a good one. And as the name suggests, it's a honey-coloured fungus. You also don't really want to see things like bracket fungus. You see them a lot on beech trees in particular, and they're not good because they will actually kill the tree. They generally only get in when the tree is slightly damaged in the first place, but they will kill it over time. And I've seen trees before that have had bracket fungus on them, and they've been like a donut, just a ring of woody material on the outside, and inside the fungi has actually turned everything else to this soft sort of mulch almost that's in the centre of the tree. So they're ones you don't want, but everything else is very useful and very important for keeping the garden the bustling ecosystem and habitat that we all know and love. I'm Roofe and welcome once again to Get... Oh, say once again? Yeah. No. Can I say once again? No. Thanks.
Just physically down. No.
Just thinking.